Welcome to Worth Media Group's Leading Voices series. I'm Laura Gerson, your host, and we're delighted to welcome you to our monthly series featuring groundbreaking women from our community who are leading the charge when it comes to building a more equitable economy for women. Today, I'm joined by Christina Terzin, Managing Director of Digital Advice and Wealth Services at Charles Schwab. Christina, hi.
Hello.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, some of your previous experience and the role you are in at Schwab today? Love to get to meet you and get to learn about you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and talk to you today. I think we've got a lot of great topics queued up. So thank you so much. I'm Christina Terzin. My background is in finance and strategy. I joined Schwab about 7 years ago, really when I was asking friends and family, who do you know that loves what they do, loves where they work? And I felt like Schwab just kept coming at me from all different corners of my life. One of the things that really drew me to Schwab and ultimately keeps me here is the idea that, our firm was really built on the idea that Wall Street should be for everybody. So it's very pervasive in everything we do, making investing in this whole world of investing much more accessible. In my role at Schwab, I'm leading teams working on digital advice and planning. So I oversee the strategy, development, and management of products like Schwab Intelligent Portfolios, financial planning, and Schwab investing themes. I've got a deep passion for product development, really blurring the lines between human and digital experience, which is basically to say I love building cool stuff that real people love and feel like I get to do that here at Schwab every day, which is awesome.
That's a really fun role. And it's so important to feel passionate about where you are and what you're doing.
Totally.
I know that initially when we were talking, we decided that today we would talk more about what you're doing over at Schwab and specifically about the role of technology and people when it comes to creating modern investing and wealth managing experiences.
Definitely.
So, can you give me a little more history on the trends that have led us to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say it's the trends we're all feeling in our day-to-day lives. We've experienced some really important and, let's be honest, huge shifts over the past decade in the roles of technology and humans in our lives. And a lot of that was spurred even further by the pandemic. So really accelerating how we use tech in our lives, whether that's, through ordering groceries or turning to things like telehealth, remote work. I mean, it's all changing, and let's be honest, it's still changing. I think, one thing when we talk about a lot of these words like tech and automation tend to feel inherently cold or like we're somehow taking out the human interaction. And I would argue, based on, what I've seen in my own experiences, that a lot of this technology actually frees us up to make those human interactions inherently more human. So now when you call whoever you're going to call, or if that's us or somebody else, the conversation doesn't have to start with, what's your name, date of birth, social security. We're not doing human data collection. We can actually start the conversation with, how are you and how can I help? So I think that's a very exciting turn for sure.
Well, technology makes things easier. It's more efficient. Like you said, it checks some of the first initial things off the list so that you can delve right into the conversation. Can you be a little more specific? Like maybe tell us a little bit more about some examples or some information along those lines.
Yeah, and I will totally admit I'm a hardcore data nerd. So I'm very excited to share. We do a lot of research on my teams and in my role, and I'll throw some stats at you. Our research has shown that 25% of consumers say their attitude towards technology has changed forever as a result of the pandemic, and another 32% say that they'll adopt tech at a faster rate than they did before the pandemic. So we're definitely seeing this upward swing, and for investors, there's no doubt that tech is now a core part of our financial lives. We've come to expect it. It's a baseline in so many other areas. So why wouldn't it be part of our financial lives as well? And we're all becoming increasingly comfortable using these digital tools and seeing the value and efficiency that they can provide in helping us meet financial goals. A couple more stats for you. 80% of investors have said cited the importance of having access to digital tools to do their own planning, which I think is a huge testament to, like, give me the tools to do some of this stuff on my own, especially when we're talking about hugely emotional topics. Money is emotional. There's a lot of, hopes, fears, anxieties, shame, like so many things wrapped up in that. So more self-directed tools where I can do most of the work on my own and then talk to somebody when I'm ready. Looking a little further out, we also have 63% of investors saying they believe their portfolio will be fully managed by tech in the next 10 years. So that's most of us thinking that we're moving completely to a tech-enabled option, which is huge. At the same time, I think the pandemic also reinforced our appreciation for human interaction and really proved that there's no replacement for that. And a result of all these shifts is that our expectations are higher for how we integrate the human experience with the technology in a seamless way. And again, like, we're talking about money. This is emotional. I don't think any of us are turning to Chat GPT to ask about the life goals that we have. It's really helpful to have a real person who understands the human experience on the other end of that conversation.
Well, and I think we're seeing this more and more. I mean, with the tech-enabled ease of efficiency and the innovations that we're seeing, we still really, that human touch is so crucial and so important. And I think it's coming into so many conversations today about, how much tech is too much tech, and
Totally.
how do we maintain that human touch? I'm also curious, when you're thinking about this, what do you see as the main role of people, especially in the investing experience, and keeping that human touch so involved?
Yeah, totally. I mean, again, our research has found like the role of people is extremely vital when it comes to more complicated activities. So when you're thinking about a financial plan or getting financial advice, or let's be honest, when the markets wobble and uncertainty is rising, when there's a big dip in the market, like, that's a scary thing and it can be hard to know what to do. This is true of affluent investors, general investors. That's not about how much money you have. That's like, when there's uncertainty and ambiguity around us, we all feel that. And it's true among new and younger investors as well. So those who came into the market for the first time in 2020, they're turning to humans in these key moments that matter to them in their financial lives. There's not always a guidebook for how do I think about saving for college or my next vacation or getting married, or someone I love is sick, or, this is real life stuff that's complicated and goes beyond, what tech can do. So having somebody, again, who understands that human experience and can talk to you as a real person and really get to know the nuance of your situation, that's huge. This is big stuff.
Okay, so we know we need that, but how are you combining the best of technology and people, in a world where our expectations are so much higher than ever before, honestly?
Totally. At least in our industry, in financial services and investing, I don't think we're under any belief that we're headed toward a future where tech totally replaces humans. The importance of human guidance and support have emerged as more important than ever. But we're also not going back to where we were before the pandemic. Investors are now comfortable using digital solutions, and we expect to use them moving forward. And we expect them to be simple and intuitive. I've done a lot of work here at Schwab also about seniors in tech, and I could talk to you all day about, there's no age limit on simple experiences. That's what we all want and need. And it's making sure that we're combining the best of both for the most powerful, optimal experience to meet investors where you are, how you want to engage, and like what is most meaningful to you. I think it's also important to note, again, a lot of these words can sound really cold, but remember that there's a team of experts behind the experience. So yes, the tech is important and it's very powerful, but it's still programmed by real people. Our team of experienced portfolio and asset managers are monitoring what's going on. They're making sure our research and methodology is up to date and reflecting what's going on in the real world.
How are you foreseeing tech playing a role in making sure we don't replace the human touch? Like, I know you're doing so much of this over at Schwab.
Yeah. I mean, we're already seeing tech play a larger role by removing administrative friction. That's kind of the human data collection I talked about earlier. We see it in things like fully digital account open, scheduling appointments with your financial planner, even automated portfolio management. When we combine those things with the power of people, we create more accessible financial planning and more personalized investing experiences. I'll give you just a couple examples of what some of those experiences are. So
Oh, great.
one is Schwab Intelligent Portfolios,
Mhm.
which is our automated investing product designed for folks who want a digital solution to help get started and stay on track. You get a sophisticated, diversified, tailored portfolio without advisory fees or commissions, which is really a long way of saying we often hear from people when we ask, like, why aren't you in investing, or why not get involved in this?
Mhm.
The top two reasons we hear all the time, and this has been true for as long as I've been here and probably even before, people say, I'm not into investing either because I think I don't have enough money or I don't know how to do it. And fair. I mean, I think we've all been there. This industry can feel like, it's only meant for people who have lots of money, or you have to be some sort of expert in investing. But something like Schwab Intelligent Portfolios, you answer a couple of questions up front. We'll ask you what kind of risk tolerance you have. What are you going to use this money for? What kind of goal are you talking about? And then you get into the portfolio. We manage it for you. It automatically rebalances. So you don't have to have a ton of money to get started, and you certainly don't have to be an expert. That's kind of the whole point, is that the tech runs for you, based on what you've told us about your goals, your risk tolerance, and all that kind of stuff. And then a step up from there, we also have Schwab Intelligent Portfolios Premium, which is to say, if you're someone who likes the tech side of that and you like the automatic rebalancing, the diversified portfolio, but you want to talk to somebody on a more regular basis, with the premium solution, you can get unlimited access to a CFP. So you can talk to anybody anytime when you've got a life event coming up, or if you just want to check in on your financial plan and see how it's going. So by leveraging technology for the portfolio construction and the management pieces, but then the planners who can focus on, how's it going? How are you doing? How are you feeling? What's happening in your life? That's kind of bringing the best of both of those things together. Another example I'll give you is our Schwab investing themes, which is new for us, but that really enables investors to easily research, customize, and invest in more than 40 thematic areas based on your passion and interest. So again, if you're kind of coming in and saying, I'm not really sure about all this investing stuff, but gosh, I know I love, some of our themes are like pets, right? Or shopping. One of my favorites, and one of the themes that I have in my portfolio, is on like workforce diversity, right? So like I want to invest in companies that are prioritizing recruiting, onboarding, and engaging a diverse group of leaders. That's a theme. So you can connect to stuff that's important to you. And we know, again, from our research, that 8 in 10 Americans are saying their personal values and interests are playing more and more of an important role in what they're investing in. So that's huge. And with Schwab investing themes, you can get started for as low as $250. So again, you don't need a ton of money. You don't have to be an expert. We've got a team of researchers doing all of that for you. It's all here for you. I think that's the thing that I find myself saying both to my team, but also my friends a lot, which is, man, this whole world of investing, like, it will change your life. And it's all here for you. And whatever you think about not having enough money or not knowing enough, there's stuff that can help with that.
You hit so many key points, because I do think you're right. So many people don't invest because they feel like, they don't know what they're doing, or they're not sure what the right path is or the next step. And I think it's so great to know that there are tools like yours out there that make it easier, more accessible, walk you through it. But there's also, the human side of it, where when you need the client services, it's there for you as well. So I'm curious too, with the recent rise of AI, and there's been a lot of conversation around the potential misuse or negative effects of automated systems. How are you guys solving for this?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's an exciting space for sure. But one that I think we're all asking ourselves, like, what does this mean? What kind of
Right.
change does this bring? And I would say at Schwab, our approach to everything is always through clients' eyes. That's our strategy. And what we mean by that is putting clients first. So real people, what are your needs? What are you looking for? How can we help? As part of our digital transformation, one of the things we track is a client easy score, which is to say, hey, like this thing that you just did, how easy did we make it for you to do X? And we really use that to measure the success of our digital tools and experiences and get direct feedback from clients on, hey, how is this feeling? Is this helping you get to where you need to be? Are we using technology and these digital tools in a way that's truly making things easier for you? So that's been a great way for us to keep a pulse and keep that feedback loop open and direct with clients. And there's lots of other ways that we get feedback too, but really just sort of always putting the client first to say, is this helping you? And I think that that's one of the biggest ways that we're sort of navigating all this change. In addition to leveraging technology to create better tools and simplify experiences for clients, we're also always looking at digital innovation. How can we drive scale, create more time for our professionals and our clients to create and deepen those relationships?
Well, I can tell there's a lot of passion in what you're doing at work, and that's so important. And it really comes through in everything we've been talking about today. And it's so enlightening to know that there's opportunity to utilize platforms, that there's a people aspect to all of this, and that there's a person behind the scenes, a woman who's really thinking through all of this, and a team that is making things happen at Schwab for your clients, and really thinking about how investing is happening today, and really how we have to address those concerns and those needs. I really appreciate your time today, Christina, and joining us here. Is there anything else you want to share with us around technology or any of the things that you guys are working on at Schwab that we ought to know about?
I mean, I would just say, again, thank you for having me. It's so great to see you and talk with you on this stuff. And I really can't say enough, the whole world of investing is really life-changing. And sometimes the barriers to get in can feel really high, or you feel like maybe I'm waiting for the right time or until I know more about XYZ. And I hope what folks really take away from this conversation is that you don't have to wait. If anything, I would say when it comes to investing, the more time you're in the market matters so much more than the amount of money that you have. And there are all of these
Don't
tools.
wait is what you're saying.
Don't wait. Yes. And there are all of these tools and people who are here ready and willing to help. So take advantage of it. It's all here for you.
Christina, thank you so much for joining me today. What an informative and really fun conversation. Like you said, let's not wait. We all need to get started investing.
Absolutely.
To find out more about Charles Schwab's offerings, you can visit them online at charlesschwab.com or follow them on social media at Charles Schwab. And for everyone watching and listening, we hope you will sign up for our newsletter and join our Women in Worth community, where you can find out all about us on worth.com. Thank you again for being here today. Signing off for Leading Voices.
Thanks so much, Laura. It was great to chat with you.